Hi friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another 5-minute book review. Today we are going to be talking about one of the most talked about books of the last year and a half, and that is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. This book was released in June of 2023 and very quickly became one of the most popular books on the internet. This book has definitely been one of the most hyped up books of the last year and a half, and it has conflicting reviews of people who are saying that it is definitely not worth the hype and people who definitely think that the hype is for a reason. So today we're going to be answering the question, is The 7-Year Slip worth the hype? Now this book is about Clementine, and she just recently lost her aunt, and after her aunt passed away, she willed Clementine her apartment, and with the grief so fresh in her heart, Clementine cannot bear to sell this apartment where she had so many great memories with her aunt, so she decides to move in. But the catch is occasionally this apartment brings you exactly 7 years in the past. Now this means that if the timing is right, you will probably meet someone who was living in the apartment 7 years beforehand. And when Clementine first moves in, she doesn't necessarily think that it's real. And so the first time that the apartment takes her back in time, Clementine meets this man named Iwan, who is subletting the apartment from her aunt for the summer. And of course, they start to like each other until they finally meet in the present, and they have to figure out, does this relationship work just in the past, or does it work for our present selves as well? Now, I personally thought that this book was just so much fun. I didn't necessarily go into the book with super high expectations just because of how hyped up this book was. I figured that there's no way that a book can live up under as much hype as this book was getting. And usually it takes me a while to be invested in a romance story, but in this particular book, it did not take me very much time at all. I was in within the meeting for the first, maybe second time. This book also has themes of grief and learning how to love someone as they grow older and become a new version of themselves, which I thought was an interesting take on a romance, because usually you only see their life for the first couple months of the relationship and then you never see them again. Honestly, this little book right here, this little sunshine ray of a book, is kind of like a piece of candy. It's really sweet while you're partaking in it, and it's only here for a short little while and then it's gone, and you can look back and remember how much you enjoyed it while you were in it, but it doesn't stay with you for a super long time. So honestly, if you like romance at all, I would recommend that you give this book a go. It is definitely very much hyped up, but I think if you can go into this book with tempered expectations, then you'll end up having a really good time with it. It's definitely not the best romance book that I've ever read, but it is one of the most fun romance books that I've ever read. This book is also not a book that is a super in-depth romance like something that Abby Jimenez or Emily Henry would write. So if that is your vibe of romance, then keep that in mind if you decide to read this book. There's not a ton of emotional complexity, but it is really fun and really sweet. So I personally think that The 7-Year Slip is worth the read, with the caveat that maybe temper your expectations a little bit so that it doesn't have to bear as much weight as the media has given it. But I also want to know your thoughts. Have you read The 7-Year Slip? Did you think that it was worth the read, and did you think that it's worth the hype? Let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you guys next time.